They say that life today offers us everything except peace of mind. We are more connected by technology than ever before, yet many people still feel confused, tired, and directionless. And perhaps you've experienced that too, that feeling of inner turmoil, of not knowing where to take the first step, even though you clearly sense that something within you needs to change. Stoicism explains that there can be no external order if you don't first build it within. That inner clarity doesn't appear when you control everything, but when you learn to take care only of what is within your control. And that's what this video is about. Returning to your center, regaining your strength, and ordering your path from the inside out. Today, I want to share 8 Stoic ideas that can help you create the peace of mind and inner strength you so deeply desire. They are simple yet powerful ideas, used by figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, men who faced the challenges of their time with the calm of those who had already mastered themselves. This video isn't just a list of steps, it's an invitation to look at your life with honesty, to let go of what weighs you down and to keep only what truly matters. Because true order begins when you decide to stop living mindlessly and start moving with intention. That's why I'm asking you to stay until the end, because each of these ideas can help you change the way you think, feel, and choose. And when you start applying them, you'll see how little by little everything falls back into place. Before we continue, I want to ask you to do something symbolic. Go to the comments and write this sentence. Today, I decide to organize my life. Write it not as a simple message, but as a promise to yourself, because by writing it, you're saying you're ready to leave the clutter behind, reclaim your vision, and live with intention. This phrase isn't just any comment, it's a personal agreement to begin creating the peace you deserve. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Peace dwells in simplicity. We've become accustomed to constantly rushing, filling every moment with sounds, every pause with something to distract us, and every minute with some task. But this need to achieve more, to seek more things, more activities, and more results, is precisely what robs us of our peace. Stoicism explains it very directly. Peace of heart doesn't come from accumulating, but from letting go. You don't need more to feel tranquility. What you need is to remove what's superfluous. Simplicity isn't a lack, it's strength. It's the ability to see life without unnecessary embellishments and understand that what's important is already within you. When you learn to stop, when you give yourself permission to observe without trying to control anything, you discover something many no longer see: life itself. In its simplest form, it's enough. When you return to your center, you remember that you don't need much to feel good, and that idea is profoundly Stoic. Learning to see value and meaning in the ordinary. We live burdened because we confuse movement with growth. But movement doesn't always mean improvement. The Stoic understands that inner stability is born from order, and order is born from simplicity. A simple mind is not an empty mind, it's a focused mind, not filled with noise that tires and confuses. Ask yourself honestly, how many of the things you're seeking are truly necessary? How many of them consume your time, energy, and attention without giving you anything meaningful? The answer, if you dare to listen, will reveal something important. You don't need everything you think you need. Start small. Declutter your space. Dedicate a few minutes to silence each day. Walk without headphones. Look at a tree. Feel the wind. Listen to your thoughts without arguing with yourself. These are simple actions, but they make a big difference, because when the mind is still, the soul remembers who it is. Simplicity is a discipline. It takes courage to say, "This is enough for me," when the world insists it's never enough. It takes inner growth to prioritize what's important over what's urgent. And it takes awareness to notice that true wealth lies not in what you possess, but in what you can calmly enjoy. Stoicism doesn't tell you to abandon the world, but to observe it clearly. Live more slowly, more consciously, more presently, because peace doesn't appear at the end of an achievement, but in the serenity with which you experience it. Lesson 2. The essentials are enough. We live surrounded by too many things, objects, tasks, distractions, commitments that aren't even our own. We rush around trying to do everything, to have everything, to fulfill every obligation, but the more we accumulate, the emptier we feel inside. That's the great trick of modern life, making us believe that happiness arrives when we add more, when in reality it begins when we remove what's superfluous. Stoicism explained this a long time ago. Peace isn't found in what you possess externally, but in learning to need less. True discipline isn't about doing 1,000 more things, but about having the courage to let go of what's unnecessary. Saying no is also a way to move forward. Saying enough is an act of strength. Every time you let go of something unnecessary, you reclaim a piece of your mind. And a free mind is the foundation of a clear life. Most people live exhausted because they confuse being busy with improving. They fill their calendars, but empty their sense of purpose. They commit to everything except themselves. That's why the first Stoic step to organizing your life is simple. Turn down the noise. You don't need more opportunities, you need more clarity. You don't need more time, you need better priorities. Ask yourself honestly, does what I do every day bring me closer to who I want to be? Or does it take me further away? Does this commitment, this expense, this conversation help me, or does it just tire me out? What's essential is recognized because it brings calm, not pressure. When something is truly important, it doesn't leave you desperate. It leaves you at peace. Choose carefully what you let into your life. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every door needs to be opened. Every yes you say has an unseen price: time, attention, presence. That's why the Stoic learns to say no without feeling bad, because they know their focus is their greatest treasure. What's essential isn't measured by quantity, but by its impact. A single well-chosen habit can change more than 10 haphazard attempts. A single clear thought can transform your entire day. When you simplify your life, everything starts to flow more smoothly. The mind becomes clearer, the body feels lighter, and the soul breathes deeply. Living with less doesn't mean living in lack, but living with intention. It means acting purposefully, keeping what helps you and letting go of what takes away your meaning. That's the essence of Stoicism, governing yourself before trying to change what's outside of you. Today I'm leaving you with a concrete action. Take stock of your life. Remove a commitment, an object, or a distraction that no longer serves you. Make room for what truly matters. Every little thing you let go of gives you back a bit of freedom. Lesson 3. Choose to be free. We live in a time where everyone talks about freedom, but almost no one truly experiences it. We believe that being free means doing whatever we want, whenever we want. But Stoicism says something very different. True freedom lies not in following every impulse, but in having the strength not to obey it. Because if you can't put your phone down for a few minutes, if you can't avoid that distraction, that craving or that excuse, then you are not free. You are someone trapped by your habits, by your own routines that control you without you even realizing it. It's not about becoming rigid, but about reclaiming the power to choose, about becoming the master of your own mind again, not a prisoner of it. Think about how many times you wanted to concentrate, but ended up opening your phone again. So how many times you said, "I'll start tomorrow," and that tomorrow never came. Every time you give in to an impulse, you relinquish a part of your freedom. The Stoic doesn't try to control the world, he tries to control himself. And that's the hardest battle, but also the most rewarding. The main idea is simple: whoever controls what they desire controls their path. And that control is built with small acts of inner strength, repeated day after day. You don't have to conquer everything at once. You just have to start with one thing. Try it for the next 7 days. Choose something that you feel is controlling you. It could be scrolling through social media, eating sugar, or complaining about anything. Don't eliminate it completely, just stop that impulse once a day. Stop, breathe, notice that discomfort, and don't give in. Right there, in that second when you want to do something and decide not to, you're reconnecting with your freedom. You are training your mind like a Stoic warrior trains their inner strength, calmly, consistently, and purposefully. Every time you choose self-control over seeking instant gratification, your character grows stronger. And every time you ignore a distraction, an addiction, or a weakness, your mind learns that you are in charge. Freedom isn't won through force, but through awareness. Being free isn't about doing everything that comes to mind. It's about not needing to do it to feel good. Choose to be free today. Start with something small, but do it with determination. And when you feel you can't go on, remember this: there is no greater power than that of a person who knows how to govern themselves. Stoicism doesn't aim to create cold people. It aims to create free people. And freedom begins when you finally decide to stop being a slave to your own impulses. Lesson 4. Not everything deserves space inside you. There are things that shouldn't occupy so much space in your mind, yet you let them in every day. Sad news, pointless comments, other people's problems, constant comparisons, complaints. All of it slowly seeps inside you until, without realizing it, you find yourself tired, distracted, and restless. And it's not because your life is a mess, it's because you've let the noise from outside make itself at home inside you. Stoicism teaches that your mind is like a castle. Only you decide what crosses the threshold, but if you leave it open, anything can enter. Criticism, envy, fear, insecurity. And when that happens, you lose control of your peace of mind. You start reacting without thinking, instead of choosing calmly. You worry about things you can't fix and neglect what you can. You can't see clearly if your mind is full of clutter. You can't feel peace if you fill your days with chaos. That's why this lesson is simple but very important. Guard your mind like a guardian. Not everything deserves a place within you. Start by observing what you consume. Every phrase, every image, every conversation leaves a mark. If you fill your mind with complaints, arguments, and comparisons every day, don't expect to feel good. The result will be confusion, exhaustion, and a lack of direction. But if you intentionally choose what you watch, read, and listen to, you'll be building your character, your focus, and your energy. The Stoic idea says that you become what you feed your mind, so cleanse your sources. Reduce the time you spend on social media that only gives you anxiety. Steer clear of conversations filled with drama or criticism. Surround yourself with people and content that help you grow, not drain your energy. And if something doesn't contribute to your peace, it doesn't have to stay. Practice something stoic every day. At night, take a moment to reflect on what you allowed into your mind. Ask yourself, did this strengthen me or exhaust me? And whatever doesn't help you move forward, let it go without regret. This is how you protect your mind from chaos and your spirit from burnout. Remember, your mind isn't a garbage dump, it's a sacred space. Every thought you accept is either a blessing or a burden. You decide which one you allow. You can't silence all the noise in the world, but you can choose which echoes you let in. And that choice, repeated every day, changes your life. Because when you filter what you let in, you regain clarity. Where there is clarity, there is direction. Where there is direction, there is calm. And where there is calm, there is power. Lesson 5. Learn to sustain yourself on grey days. It's easy to talk about order, peace, and purpose when everything seems to fall into place. The real challenge arises on the grey days, when nothing goes as planned, when exhaustion outweighs enthusiasm, when the mind becomes clouded and the heart feels numb. That's when many people give up. They think they've lost their way simply because they no longer feel motivated. But Stoicism teaches something very different. Grey days are not a sign of failure. They are part of the journey. And how you navigate them defines who you are. We live obsessed with feeling good all the time. We want constant enthusiasm, constant clarity, constant energy. But that's not real. No season lasts forever, and neither do emotions. There will be mornings when you don't feel like doing anything, when your thoughts seem heavy, when your habits feel more difficult. The Stoic doesn't deny these days. They don't pretend everything is fine. What they do is something deeper. They persevere. They don't abandon what's essential just because their mood is low. True strength isn't seen when you're inspired. It's seen when you do what you must, even when you don't feel like it. In those moments, your mind searches for excuses. Not today. I'm already tired. It's okay if I miss one day. But every time you give in, you strengthen the habit of surrendering. And every time you persevere, even with a small step, you strengthen your character. It's not about being perfect, but about being consistent. About continuing to move forward even if the pace is slow. Make a pact with yourself. On good days, you'll keep going. On bad days, you won't give up. That's the agreement. Even if it's just doing half, even if it's just the bare minimum, but without breaking the thread that binds you to the life you want to build. That small act of loyalty to yourself is worth more than 1,000 fleeting moments of enthusiasm. You can apply a simple rule, the Stoic minimum. Define 3 small things that represent your path. For example, move your body for a few minutes, read a paragraph of something nourishing, write a line about how you feel, and do them even when everything is heavy. Not to produce huge results, but to say to yourself, I won't give up. Marcus Aurelius wrote that he often woke up with no desire to get out of bed, but he reminded himself that he was born to do his part in the world, not to stay in bed. That simple idea is powerful. You're not here to feel good all the time. You're here to be true to what you know is right, even when your inner climate isn't supportive. Grey days are not enemies, they are trainers. They show you how committed you truly are to your path. They teach you to rely less on mood and more on resolve. And when you learn to persevere through them, not with cold hardness but with quiet strength, you discover something profound. Your courage is not broken by a fleeting emotion. Organizing your life also means learning not to dramatize every setback. Accept that cycles exist, that your mind goes up and down, but your purpose remains. If today is a grey day, don't make it a tragedy. Make it a training ground. Keep what's essential. Take care of yourself, get the rest you need. But don't lose touch with yourself, because those who are able to keep walking under grey clouds end up reaching places that those who always give up will never know. Lesson 6. Free yourself from pain by learning to forgive. There are pains that aren't visible on the outside, but they weigh more than any backpack on our backs. They are the anger we hold on to, the disappointments, the words we never said, and the ones said to us when it hurt the most. Sometimes we think that holding on to that pain protects us, that anger gives us strength or brings justice, but in truth, it keeps us tied to what we most want to leave in the past. Stoicism teaches that you cannot find inner peace if you remain attached to what has already ended. What's done is done. You cannot change what others have done, but you can choose what you do with what they have left in your heart. Forgiving does not mean approving of what they did, erasing what happened, or trusting again. Forgiving is letting go of the weight of yesterday so you can move forward more lightly into tomorrow. When you hold on to anger, you slowly hurt yourself from within. You want the other person to feel pain, without realizing that you are the one being hurt. Every time you remember the hurt and relive it, you lock yourself into a moment that no longer exists. And no one can have a clear and orderly life if their heart remains trapped in sadness. The Stoic idea is simple. You can't control the actions of others, but you can decide what to do with the pain that remains within you. Therein lies your strength, and therein begins your freedom. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is courage, because you need bravery to look at the wound, accept it, and decide not to continue feeding it. Forgiveness is not given to free the other person. It is given so that you can find peace. Keep it simple. Think of someone or a situation that still makes you uncomfortable. Don't attack it. Don't replay it in your mind. Just look at it as if it were an image. Then say in your mind, or in a low voice, I don't have to keep carrying this weight. I've decided to let it go. Do this every day for a week, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace of mind. Each time you intentionally repeat this action, you are training your stoic mind to focus on the present moment, not the past. Forgiving isn't about erasing everything. It's about letting go of suffering over something you can no longer change. And when you do, something settles inside you. Your mind clears, your body relaxes, and your soul breathes easier. You discover that no one can hurt you as much as you hurt yourself when you refuse to heal. So today, free yourself from pain by learning to forgive. Do it for yourself, not for the other person, because forgiveness doesn't erase what happened, but it does change the story that comes next. A calm heart is the true sign of a strong and trained mind. The Stoic doesn't seek punishment, he seeks balance. He doesn't need external justice because he has already found inner peace. And when you achieve that, nothing and no one can ever control your emotions again. Lesson 7. Take care of the voice you use to talk to yourself. You can organize your room, your planner, and even your bank account, but if you don't organize the way you talk to yourself, you'll always feel like something is broken. There are people who would never insult a friend, but they insult themselves all day long. They call themselves useless when they fail. They call themselves failures when something doesn't go as planned. They criticize themselves in front of the mirror as if they were their worst enemy. and then they wonder why it's so hard for them to find peace. Stoicism teaches that your inner dialogue is where your destiny begins. What you repeat in your mind, sooner or later, becomes how you behave. If you tell yourself every day that you can't, your mind will believe it's true. If every mistake becomes a condemnation, you'll never have room to learn. You can't build a strong life on a voice that tears you to pieces. Think about this. Would you speak to a beloved child the same way you speak to yourself when you make a mistake? Would you shower them with insults, contempt, and harsh words that make them feel inferior? Surely not. So why do you do it to yourself? The Stoic doesn't deceive themselves with pretty words, but neither do they destroy themselves with cruelty. They face their mistakes head-on, acknowledge them, accept them, and then ask themselves what they can learn. That's the difference. Healthy self-criticism corrects. Cruel self-criticism paralyzes. Start paying attention to the way you talk to yourself. It's not about repeating sweet lies, but about using words that hold you accountable without tearing you down. Instead of, "I'm a mess," say, "I made a mistake, but I can improve." Instead of, "I'm worthless," say, "I'm still learning, I need more practice." Small changes in your words create big changes in your behavior because your mind listens to everything you say about yourself and acts accordingly. Try this simple practice for the next few days. Every time you find yourself thinking something negative about yourself, stop for a second and ask yourself, is this a fact or just a harsh opinion I have of myself? If it's a fact, use it to adjust your course. If it's just an attack, replace it with a phrase that propels you forward, not one that drags you down. Over time, your mind will cease to be a dangerous place and will become a training ground. And a Stoic warrior needs that, an inner arena where they can correct themselves firmly, but also respectfully. Remember, no one listens to you as much as you listen to yourself. You are the person you spend the most time with, the voice you hear most often, the presence that never leaves. If that voice becomes your ally, your entire life changes. Organizing your inner world also means organizing your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as someone who is a work in progress, not as someone beyond repair, because those who treat themselves with dignity on the inside walk with greater strength on the outside. Lesson 8. Start dusting off your mind. Every day, without you even noticing, your mind fills up with invisible debris, unfinished thoughts, emotions you hold on to, fears that resurface again and again, tiny drops of tension that accumulate until one day you realize you can no longer think clearly. This is mental dust, the stuff that clouds your vision, steals your energy, and distances you from yourself. Just as you take care of your body and tidy your home, you also need to learn to organize your mind. If you don't, the inner chaos ends up manifesting in everything. Your decisions, your personality, your peace of mind. The Stoics understood this very well. They knew that the mind needs care, just like muscles, because a cluttered mind cannot think clearly, and a burdened mind cannot find rest. The first step is accepting that you cannot function healthily if you don't pause to empty yourself of what is superfluous. Every day leaves its mark, and if you don't cleanse it, it becomes a burden. That's why Stoicism encourages us to have inner cleansing routines. They aren't complicated things. They're small moments to connect with yourself. It could be walking in silence, breathing mindfully, writing down what you feel, moving your body, or simply gazing at the sky without doing anything. The important thing is to create a space where the mind can breathe fresh air. When you clear your mind, you regain control of your emotions. You stop reacting impulsively and begin responding with intention. It's like cleaning a mirror. Suddenly you can see yourself again. And when you see yourself clearly, you can choose wisely once more. Ask yourself this: how much time do you dedicate to caring for your body, and how much to caring for your mind? You can't expect peace if you never give your thoughts a rest. The mind needs pauses, it needs silence, it needs order. In those quiet moments, everything begins to fall into place and the path becomes clearer. Creating a daily habit of mental cleansing is a way of respecting yourself, of telling yourself, my balance matters. Don't wait until your mind breaks down to listen to it. Cleanse it every day before tiredness turns into a storm. You can start today. Give yourself 10 minutes to be with yourself, with nothing to distract you. Observe your thoughts without fighting or hiding anything. Let them pass like clouds moving across the sky, and at the end, take a deep breath. That simple action, repeated every day, is enough to keep your inner self clear and calm. Lesson 9. The way you use your time defines your life. Every day, without fail, life gives you a precise number of hours. You don't receive more, nor do you receive less. You use them, you make the most of them, or you let them go. But one thing is certain: they never return. Time is the most valuable thing you have, and yet it's what you give away most easily. You waste your time on pointless conversations, distractions that offer no benefit, and endlessly repeating ideas that don't help you grow, and then you wonder why your life seems stagnant. Stoicism puts it bluntly and directly. It's not that we have little time, it's that we squander it without realizing it. The problem isn't how many hours you have, but how you use them. You've confused being busy with truly moving forward. You've mistaken mere movement for real progress, and every day that passes without intention is a day in which you give away a part of yourself that will never return. Your time is your life. What you do with your minutes is what you do with your story. If you fill your days with noise, you end up tired and empty. If you fill them with meaning, you find peace. That's the difference between living and just being alive. You don't need more days. You need more presence within the days you already have. Take a sincere look at yourself. See where your time slips away, what drains your energy, what distracts you from your goals, what you do simply because you feel like it, not because you chose to. The Stoic acts with intention. Every action, every pause, every word has a reason. Taking care of your time is a way of taking care of yourself. Saying no to what doesn't serve you isn't selfish, it's discipline. Build your life as if you were organizing a sacred space. Set aside time for what truly matters: your growth, your body, your mind, and the relationships that enrich your life. Remove what's unnecessary, not only from your schedule but also from your mind. Every time you choose what's important, your character grows stronger. Every time the urgent takes over, you lose strength. Time well spent gives you direction. Time wasted fills you with doubt. You don't need a full calendar. You need a clear mind. Start each day with a Stoic question. What will I do today that is truly under my control and has real value? The answer to that question can change your path. Remember something essential. You don't manage your time, you manage your attention. Be mindful of where you focus it. Put it into what builds, what leaves a mark, what brings meaning. Because the way you use your time defines the way you live your life. Lesson 10. Your progress begins when you move. There comes a point in life when you understand that waiting doesn't help. Waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for everything around you to fall into place. But the truth, that truth that Stoicism tirelessly repeats, is that progress doesn't happen when you stay still, but when you decide to move. Growth begins the moment you take a step, even if you're weak, even if it seems like everything is against you. That's the difference between those who get up and those who give up. One acts, the other makes excuses. The problem is that most people get trapped in the same routine. We put off what matters, waiting for that perfect day that never comes. We say we're tired, lost, or unmotivated, but it's really fear that holds us back. Fear of failure, fear of effort, fear of change. And meanwhile, the days go by, time slips away, and every day you choose to do nothing, the chain that binds you to the same place grows stronger. The Stoics knew this very well. Right action is what unites your thoughts with the person you want to become. It's not about doing a lot, but about moving in the right direction. Epictetus said that no one can be free if they don't learn to use what they already have, not what they wish they had. Every move, no matter how small, breaks down doubt, because when you act, fear loses its power and your mind clears. The principle is direct and firm. If you want to change your life, move. It doesn't matter if your step is tiny, if the goal seems far away, if the path is still unclear. What matters is not staying still. Every consistent action, getting up early, keeping your promises, taking a little further, is a sign of your inner strength. You don't need a perfect life to begin. You need discipline to maintain it. The Stoic tactic here is to practice conscious action. Choose something today, just one thing, and do it. Don't overanalyze it. If you fall, get up without making a fuss. If you stray, get back on track without blaming yourself. Progress isn't a straight line. It's like a drop of water that strikes a rock again and again until it transforms it. True change is built on consistency, not fleeting bursts of energy. Remember this important point. Discomfort is the gymnasium of the spirit. Every obstacle, every moment of doubt or weariness is an opportunity to emerge stronger. When you act even when you're afraid, you become your own teacher. When you persevere without seeing immediate results, you create an inner strength that no one can give you or take away. This is how Stoicism is lived, not as a nice idea, but as a daily practice. Action is the medicine that awakens a quiet heart. Don't wait for motivation to appear. Create it with your steps. Don't wait for the path to be perfect. Build it yourself, little by little. Because true progress doesn't begin when everything is clear, but when you decide to move forward, even in the fog. If you've made it this far, you've already taken a step many never take, looking within yourself. Remember that organizing your life doesn't mean controlling everything, but rather learning to remain calm even when the world is chaotic. Each of these Stoic practices is a tool for living with greater focus, intention, and balance. Now I want you to write this sentence again in the comments. Today, I choose to put my life in order. Write it down as a way to intentionally close this moment, because when you repeat it, you affirm your commitment to change, discipline, and inner peace. It's a way to remind yourself that the order you seek begins within you. If this message helped you see things more clearly, follow me to continue learning how to live with greater awareness and inner strength. Share it with someone who needs to regain control of their life, and remember, you can't control what happens outside, but you can always decide how to respond from within. See you in the next message, and may you choose order over noise, calm over chaos, and wisdom over reaction today.